Hello again, Super Six time once more. Not too many more opportunities before the end of the season. That £250,000 has got to go soon, hasn't it? Maybe this is the week. We've got 6 Premier League games. All we want you to do is correctly predict the outcome of those 6 Premier League games. So without more ado, let me tell you what the games are. It's Cardiff against Liverpool, Everton versus Swansea, Hull City against West Bromwich Albion, Manchester City against Fulham, Newcastle against Crystal Palace, and Norwich against Sunderland. And the essential things to know about Super 6 is not that you're playing just for £250,000, but that you're guaranteed a £5,000 minimum consolation prize and that it's free to play. 6 correct scores, Bob's your uncle. This is how I think things might turn out. Don't take any notice of me if you've got any common sense. But at the Cardiff City Stadium, Cardiff are battling for their lives, of course. They're up against the Liverpool side for whom the title has become a reality, a real possibility. And it's down to their goal scoring, isn't it? 76 goals so far in this Premier League season. You know, the most they've ever scored in the Premier League is 77. They're sure to eclipse that. And in fact, I think they'll do it this weekend. Cardiff, vulnerable defensively, don't score enough goals. I think that Liverpool will win this one by 2-0. Liverpool's Merseyside neighbours Everton take on Swansea. Everton a couple of points behind Spurs in the chase for 5th as it looks right now, with a couple of games in hand. Now, they have been showing, I think, a few signs of fatigue in recent weeks. But despite that, they keep getting results, particularly at home. Roberto Martinez's side have won 7 in a row at home, and that home record just goes back so long. 1 defeat in 23 home Premier League games. He's done a fantastic job there. Gary Monk, on the other hand, under a bit of pressure at Swansea. Who thought they would be in a relegation scrap? Maybe they didn't. Maybe they thought they were too good for this. I think that they'll not be good enough this weekend. I take Everton to win by 2-1. Steve Bruce's Hull City have had a funny old season, haven't they? A lot of the time they've been going really well. They've had a fantastic cup run, of course, and yet they find themselves just 5 points off relegation. And the reason for that is that they've gone 5 home Premier League games without a win. But this sees Shane Long up against his former club. A lot of people raised their eyebrows that West Bromwich Albion would let Long go. Pepe Mel will see it firsthand this afternoon just what his West Brom side are missing. He's all action is Shane Long, doesn't score as many goals as he would like or as other people would like, but he might well be on the score sheet this weekend, and I certainly see his current team beating his old team, Hull 2, West Bromwich Albion 1 for me. Felix Magath had his first taste of victory as the Fulham manager last weekend. A narrow win, but a deserved one over Newcastle. Prior to the game, Magath posted pictures of supporters on the home dressing room to try and motivate and inspire his team, and it paid dividends with that narrow victory. But going to Manchester City is a completely different kettle of fish. Fulham have got the worst defence in the Premier League. They've conceded 65 goals. We all know that City score lorry loads of goals. They've won 12 of their 13 home Premier League games. This is an easy one. It's just a question of how many, really, for City. I think 3. Manchester City 3, Fulham 0. Tony Pulis takes his Crystal Palace side off to Newcastle United. Of course, he won't bump into the old Palace player Alan Pardew because Pardew's serving a stadium ban at the moment. Pulis has given Palace some really solid foundations. What he hasn't given them is goals away from home. Just 6 away Premier League goals. The Premier League record for the fewest away goals in the season is 8, and that's under threat. Will they be more ambitious at St James's Park than they were last week at Sunderland? I doubt it, you know. Newcastle have kept 6 consecutive clean sheets against Palace. I see this being a 7th. But again, I think Palace's stubbornness might earn them a point. I'm going to go Newcastle 0, Crystal Palace 0. And the final game sees Gus Poyet take his Sunderland side down to Carrow Road to face Norwich City. Poyet, Sunderland, not got a great record there. You know, they've not won at the East Anglians ground since way back in 1985. They find themselves back in the relegation places again, but of course they do have games in hand. 3 games in hand, in fact, over Norwich, and just 4 points behind. I think a draw would be seen to be a decent result for Sunderland in this one. Certainly wouldn't for Norwich, who've got that horrendous run at the end of the season coming up. But that's what I'm going to go for. Norwich City 1, Sunderland 1. So these are my 6 predictions this weekend then. At the Cardiff City Stadium, I'm going to go Cardiff 0, Liverpool 2. Everton 2, Swansea 1. Hull City to beat West Bromwich Albion by 2-1 at the KC. Manchester City 3, Fulham 0. Newcastle United and Crystal Palace to finish goalless. And Norwich City 1, Sunderland 1. Remember, as ever, you're playing for £250,000 and a guaranteed £5,000 consolation prize. It's absolutely free to play. All you do is go to skysports.com/Super 6, or you can download the app. And as ever, the very best of luck to you.